Welcome to another video from East Beds Bushcraft, the home of #survival.
Greetings Bushcrafters and survivalists, it's Buzz here for yet again another amazing noodle review. And I have to do a big shout out to a friend of mine called Chris Banks, hiya Chris, who gave me 2 packets of noodles. 1 packet, which is beef, we'll get back to that. But these ones intrigued me because I love seafood, and these are prawn flavour. Now I have done a Nissan, it's not a car, it's NISSIN noodle review before, but a different type of packet noodle from that company. And these ones are prawn flavour, so we've got all to play for on these. Now, let's have a look. Very simple instructions on this one, because it's basically, let me have a look, very small writing, that's why I need my Specto specs. It says, bring 500 millilitres of water up to boil, and then cook the noodles for 3 minutes, and then remove, add the soup powder, so it looks like we're getting some soup this review, huzzah, and then serve immediately. So let's have a look in the pack. By the way, I'm in a t-shirt for the first time in ages. The weather is extremely nice. It's calm, there's no wind. I've actually got the door open in the storatorium, so you might even hear the birds outside, or the odd plane flying over, since we're not that too far away from the Luton Airport. Anyway, what's going on? Let's have a look. So we've got a standard pack of noodles. I think these were, I think he told me that these were about £1 again for a packet of noodles. If I find that it's different, I'll pop it up on screen. So we have, oh, there goes the quite a reasonable block of noodles, and down there, 1 sachet of prawn. So these aren't the most exciting noodles. Sometimes you get noodles where you get several packets of bits in the bag, but it's a reasonable, it's what you'd expect, I suppose, out of a packet of instant noodles. Right, we're coming up there. So what you guys have been up to lately? Yeah, I've noticed that my friend JJ, bless him, he's been doing a couple of his in the shed videos, I believe, or at least one I've seen, which was really good, JJ, if you watch this. And I'm in one of my sheds because I have the storatorium, and I also have a few other outbuildings. Right, we're up to boil, so I need to stick these in. Right, where's my spork? We need to get that. Right, we're going to have to get that on the boil for 3 minutes. But let's first get the noodles down. Come on. They normally soften up pretty quickly, as you probably all know. And they're going down, they're going down, they're going down. Anyway, talking about the great weather, at last. Okay, I'm recording this on a Thursday lunchtime. Right, noodles are in. And, turn that down a little bit. Right, I need to get a timer on. 3 minutes. Quick, boom. Right, not 31. What's going on here? 3 minutes, go. Job done. At this rate, they're going to get slightly over 3 minutes, but they're boiling away nicely. Okay, let's take it down to a simmer. Down to a simmer, say. Don't want them boiling over. Come on. Trouble with these old easy camping gas type cookers, it's either full or not a lot. Anyway, as I was saying, as time of recording, it's a Thursday, and the weather finally is looking good on this coming Sunday. And we went off to the Danish camp, which is up near Bedford, for a meal a couple of days ago, and which was very nice, by the way. If you ever get the chance to drop into the Danish camp, and it was unusual for us because we dropped into the Danish camp via car. And that's the first time I've ever done that, because normally we are paddling down the Great Ouse, and we get out and have a meal and get back in again in the canoe. And it's the canoe I'm talking about, because this Sunday hopefully will be the first opportunity we have to try out our new Swift Prospector 16 Kevlar. Yes, So we're really looking forward to that, and taking our son Zach and Erin with us. They're going to go in the other Who canoe, so there you go. Oh, by the way, Eric the Red is no more. I actually sold Eric the Red, our big 4-seater canoe, to a family who were really overjoyed to actually get that canoe and to start their own canoe adventures. So goodbye to Eric the Red, but they actually did say, whether they do or not, but they did say they liked the fact that it was called Eric the Red, so they'd probably just keep calling it Eric all the same. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward this until the end of the timer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the magical, mystical Noodle Owl. Hurrah! Thank you, Noodle Owl. Right, let's turn these off. They have had their full 3 minutes, or just over. They are well and truly cooked. Right. While I was had the timer on, I did actually go on the internet and checked out the noodle prices. Probably, I think these might have been about 65p each. These ones. Right, in goes. This is quite brown looking, this. I was expecting it to be more pinky, being shrimp, not shrimp, prawn. Prawns, shrimps, basically the same, isn't it? I think we had this discussion before, didn't we? In one of my previous videos. Are shrimps the same as prawns? I believe they are, because we call them prawns, but Forrest Gump, he had a shrimp boat. Forrest Gump had a shrimp boat, even though we call them prawns. Anywho, that is extremely hot. So let's have a look. So about 65p. So about 65p thereabouts, which is a reasonable, price. Not expensive, not the cheapest, but then again, the cheapest do tend to be cheap and cheerful. We have one sachet packet, which again means that on the old list of pros and cons, it means minimal rubbish to take back from camp. Okay, and when you're at camp, you can always have a little game of catch with the packet for fun while you're waiting for your noodles to cool down. Anyway, okay, so this one, Nissin prawn flavoured. That looks like a decent helping there. Do you know what? If I was picking up some prawns that still had their carapace on, and I was snapping them and getting the meat out and eating it, definitely smells like, that smell of prawn on your fingers. It does smell prawny, which is just as well, since they're meant to be prawn flavoured. Nothing else in the actual seasoning, so you've got no dehydrated vegetables or anything like that. Right, let's do it. Let's look at these noodles. They keep on coming. Wow. Right, so we've got really long, thin ramen noodles. Let's tuck in, and I shall be back with you after I've scoffed the lot. Oh, and there we go. Right, okay, firstly, cup, lovely and clean, so quick rinse out with some water, done, which is what I like. Efficiency, or shall I say simplicity, is efficiency's best friend. Anyway, so that's good. Minimal packing, cheap price at 65p. Do you know what? I don't know if this is possible, but they actually smelt more prawny than they tasted prawny. And I think what that is because when I smelt them, they smelt prawny, but when I eat them, they're actually really quite salty. The flavouring is quite salty. I'm not the kind of guy who adds loads of salt. Yeah, I'm terrible. You'll probably tell me off out there, but if I go to fish and chips, salt and vinegar, not interested. You know, I'd rather have my chips without anything on it, or maybe a bit of curry sauce or something like that. I think it mainly stems from the fact that the line of work I'm in as an antique furniture restorer, and I have been for probably about 38 years, 37 years, I don't know, something like that. I actually use salt and vinegar to strip the dirt off of brass fittings, and so it just doesn't appeal to me that when you mix salt and vinegar together, actually having that in my stomach, chewing away at my stomach lining, doesn't really appeal. But anyway, that's another story entirely. Fact is, these were quite salty, so they're a bit saltier than I would like, but other people might like. So not really a great prawn flavour, but pleasant all the same. So I think if I've got to score these, I reckon if you added something to these, you know, if you were going to say you had some fish sticks or something you could chop up and chuck in there, even some prawns if you had some prawns, but you really don't want to be going around in the height of summer with defrosted seafood in your backpack unless you're going to eat it immediately. If you want to add something to that, that might have improved them, but we're scoring them as they are. Not a great knockout flavour, but not bad. So all in all, I think I'm going to give these a solid 5 out of 10. And as I always say, 5 isn't bad, 5 is good. 5 is like straight on the line. You get what you expect. It's a 65p thereabouts packet of instant noodles. What you expecting for that price, and especially considering it just came with one flavour sachet. So there you go. That's the end of this review. If you want to try the NISSIN prawn flavoured instant noodles, I'll give them a 5. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I shall see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to the East Beds Bushcraft channel. See you all again soon.